Hello? Is anybody there?
No, now do your NPR voice. Do your NPR voice now.
No, I'm not doing the NPR voice. I do the NPR voice too much. I wanted to do a different bit. Noel, keep all of this in. This is Oops All Dragons, the podcast that is very professionally announced, and that Varun needs to trust me to know exactly how to introduce it. All right?
Very professionally produced. Nothing ever happens wrong, you know.
And the completely unedited, unfiltered, because there is no editing in podcasts. My name is Lisa.
I'm Varun.
And we've got a follow-up guest episode.
Yeah.
It's our good pal Austin. Say hi, Austin.
Hi, it's me, Austin.
For
round two.
Yeah. For maybe the first time ever, I'm recording with another person in the same room.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Austin and I are in the same room.
No delay.
Oh my god. We can actually look each other in the eye.
I'm uncomfortable now.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all.
I like staring at my computer screen.
Why did you do that?
No, no. I'm gonna go stare at this blank wall now.
Instant regret.
No, it was awful. In our cups, for anyone, yeah, thanks for asking. What's in our cup?
Yeah, what is in our cup?
It's an Aperol Spritz.
Ching.
Ooh, ASMR. and Varun is very responsibly drinking water.
I'm full of dinner right now, so I just don't want anything else in my body beyond water at this point. I made turkey burgers with like blue cheese dressing and a bunch of potato wedges and crispy onions. I have enough things in my body at this moment.
No, but this, you've activated a QuickTime event.
Okay.
What's the best cut of potato? It is potato wedges.
Yeah,
the correct answer is potato wedges.
I mean, there's
waffle fry, potato wedge, like
the best cut of potato.
French julienne fry.
Julienne,
have you guys ever had Checkers fries?
Yes, Checker fries S tier.
The bomb.
S tier.
It's the best.
But that's the seasoning. That's not the cut.
It's not the cut. It's the seasoning.
It is the seasoning. It is not the cut. The cut is
curly.
The cut is garbage.
I like a curly fry.
But curly is more of a...
For the chaos of it?
It's chaotic. It's extravagant and chaotic, but it's not functional.
No. But a wedge.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of potato wedge.
A wedge is a potato.
Yeah, because you actually get, like, potato.
But I mean, you still want a potato.
You can get a thick cut fry, too, like a steak fry or something like that.
Yeah. A steak fry, very distinct from a potato wedge.
I will say, though, my favorite is
a flat, not
cubed
diagonal.
potato type thing.
What?
Like when you get breakfast and you have...
like a hash brown.
But not a hash brown, like
non-hash
little
browns,
potato potato cuts. That,
just
fry,
potato, diced
like
tomato.
fried potatoes.
Yeah. But then it has like a nice garlic and like some type of other green seasoning on it.
Everyone shut up, I'm hungry.
You brought it up.
I'm the one that started this. It's true.
This is the baking episode.
This is the potatoes episode. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
My favorite quote from, what is it? The Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I like potatoes.
That's the only thing anybody remembers from that show. Yeah,
I like potatoes.
I like how unenthusiastic it was.
And cheese and yeah.
Because I like cereal because it was cheese.
Yeah, I mean we've all known that like 6-year-old who just like will run up to you just out of breath, bright red, sweating, breathing hard, and you're just like what, and they're just like
who's down the well.
I like turtles. You ran here half a mile.
Oh, that
bringing it back on track. I like turtles.
Oh, Austin is a turtles fan, and we'll get into that.
Wait. Before we go into it, I just realized that little kid from like the I Like Turtles video is an adult now.
No, shut up. Be quiet.
Oh. He never grew.
No. He is frozen in time.
Just like the corn kid.
He is an adult who can...
No, you can't convince me that kid pays taxes
vote
now.
I don't think that
pay
person
taxes.
Vote. If he did vote, he voted for a turtle.
Isn't that not what Joe Biden is?
That's Mitch McConnell. No, Mitch McConnell's the turtle. Come on.
Yeah, no. But Anyways.
But back to turtles.
We're not here there. We're not...
Continuing on from the ceaseless march of time.
We'll talk about turtles.
Yeah, back to
named after political figures in a minute. We'll get there. But in the meantime, Varun, what have you been up to?
Yeah, fuck.
I've given you so much time to prepare.
Cooking lots of food. Getting prepared to do a 5K in November. And getting prepared to go to England and then go to 2 weddings right after one another, both Indian weddings. There's a
Indian
lot
weddings. That's very important for you to.
There's a lot going on in my life right now. 2 Indian weddings.
That's gonna be. That's it. They're what, like 5 days straight of wedding.
So
I filmed a lot of weddings, but I've never filmed an Indian wedding. So
me being of the Indian persuasion. Yes, I've been part of these many times. Either on bride side, groom side. When you're young, you get to participate. You get to steal the groom's shoes and get money for it. Awesome. That's usually the younger sisters though. And then coming up, the ladies get all of their mehndi done. So they get their hands and sometimes feet painted with henna and all of that. So it's usually just the kind of bridal party. But sometimes just all the ladies get it done because they just want to. Although that
it's fun.
It's fun, but it also potentially costs money.
Now can I come?
Because you're paying someone, to be there to do however many people you've got. So very fun, but yeah, you have to have minimum 2 outfits, Indian outfit, and usually a more US centric outfit, at least for
more
what
Western,
we're doing. Yeah, so like I need a sherwani and I need a suit. So
you need a quick change.
Figuring all, not in the same day.
You never know.
This is multiple outfits over multiple days, sir. Yeah, it's a couple weeks of just a whole bunch of stuff. I'm glad that one of them's for my friend and another one is for family, so I can just reuse outfits and no one's gonna know.
If there's no overlap, no one's gonna know.
Exactly. Similar to
Nova's gonna know.
Yes.
Similar to a D&D campaign, they'll never know when you change someone's name.
Because nobody takes notes.
Because nobody takes notes.
When you drop that thing in that they completely sidetracked the other day, right into their path. They just never.
It's what was his name? Harold? Cthulhu? What? It's those aren't even similar. It's just but no, I just don't remember. Costco?
I have a note here. Costco? I can't read it. Jimmy. His name's Jimmy.
Jimmy Buffett.
That's what I've been up to.
So, yeah, no,
a fucking lot.
Yeah. No, that's... Oh, boy. What about you, Austin?
What about me? I've been up to a little bit. I just recently moved to Chicago. I am now a Chicagoan,
Congrats.
Whatever you want to call it. I guess I've reclaimed my right. I lived there for 3 years, and then I moved out here. Been here for in LA, on Lisa's side for 6 years, and then just moved back with my lovely wife.
My
wife. And I have been just working on film stuff out there. And I'm back in LA working on some film stuff here, as well as working on a haunted house.
Yeah, everybody, if you're in LA, go check out House of Spirits.
I mean, not even just LA.
Actually, not even just LA.
It's in 7 cities. So you have
cities.
What is it? There's one in New York. There's one in Texas. I believe there's 2 in Texas because I think it's Dallas and Houston, but I have to check that to see if it's right. And then Seattle, LA, and Nashville are the different places that are doing it. And I have been doing this show for the past 3 seasons that they've done it. And I don't know who I am, and I can't say much about what the story is. I've signed a non-disclosure agreement, but I do encourage anyone who is a fan of the theater macabre and spooky stuff, monsters, everything's interconnected, scavenger hunts and dark mazes, burlesque shows.
It's a fun experience. It's a
fun
live
experience.
Theater thing. I went last year.
I make scary sounds
fun.
like this.
Whoa.
Hate it. Hate.
It's even worse in person, right?
It's awful. No, last year, because like it was like a bunch of rooms that you had to go in through, and in each room you encounter a different creature. And when I got to this guy's room, he like separated me from the person I was with and sent me into the next room. And locked me into the next room with the next monster.
It's a good game. And Rusalka was terrifying.
Yes, the Rusalka was terrifying. I mean, luckily, I'm such a weirdo where I, like, walk into, like, the Baba Yaga's room and I'm like, hey, bestie, what's up, girl? And, like, he was Koshek the Deathless for whoever has, you know, is familiar with Slavic mythology. He was absolutely terrifying, and I'm just like, Koshe, baby, why are you just leaving your soul egg around? Like, you can't do this. And then he's just like, leave. Get out.
I mean, at least you didn't get
too much
to a wheelchair. That was the what happened to other people, and then I had made the other people find the key. It gets lots of fun, lots of scary fun.
It was very funny that I walked into the room, and I saw just like, the line was like... The wall was lined with people just terrified of you, and I just walk up like, hey, what's up?
What's up, bro?
Me and my skeletal machine form with a tube going from my crotch to my heart.
He was, honestly, amazing costumes, amazing vibes,
I'll shout out to Tanya Sear. Tanya Sear is the person who does all the costumes, and she is phenomenal.
I mean, it's free advertising, but it's also not, because you do work for them, so you do get paid for them.
I've worked for these people for so long, doing Fortnite events, doing House of Spirits. We did something called The Bite over COVID. And
Austin's really good at flossing, guys.
I'm amazing at flossing. I did it this morning with my wife. Lisa witnessed that.
I did witness that. I feel like I walked into a very intimate moment when it's something like that.
It's like most people like walk into their parents just like doing the deed, and then you walk in just like, are you guys flossing?
You're flossing at each other on FaceTime? That's worse.
That's how you know it's for real. You know what? That's how you know that's a legit relationship.
Listen, you know.
Neither one of you breaks when you do it.
No,
you know what?
It's
for real.
It's necessary for the relationship to thrive.
Yeah, no. The couple who flosses together stays together, you know?
And Lisa, what are you up to?
Oh God. Terror?
Terror,
in this
Tower of Terror.
In this wonderful spooky season, we're recording this in October. Don't know when this episode's gonna end up coming out.
It will come out before Halloween.
Oh, great! Perfect. So we're in the spooky season, and you know what's spooky? Job insecurity. No, the wonderful job,
especially job insecurity in LA.
Job insecurity in LA. Jesus creepers. Jeepers Creepers, yeah, no, the show that I've been on for over a year is finally coming to a close, and now I have to, like, actually talk to people and be like, hey, do you guys need somebody? I'm available. Like, I can sew in a straight line. Yeah.
So you start touching people's clothes and, like, taking a needle, and you're just like, I can do
just, like, feel the seam, like,
just walk up to people with a tape measure, just like, how big's your neck?
touch a seam on their clothes. Could be better.
I could do better. Yeah. No, but actually, I don't know. I'm having a great time. You know, we've talked about, I moved, I did a whole thing, and, like, I've gotten settled in. No, I'm doing great. I just, like...
And her place is nice. I'm staying in it at the moment because I need couches to crash at while I scare people to death.
Yeah, testimonials.
And it is amazing. Very tall. I'm 6'3", and I fit in it just fine.
Yeah.
Damn, you're tall.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. That's why he's scary.
Yeah, you gotta be
costumes.
tall to scare people.
Yeah, it's true. The taller you are, the scarier
you gotta be real tall or really short to be able to fit into some, like, tight spaces they wouldn't expect.
That is true. If I could do that and contort, I would definitely hide inside a closet and scare the crap out of someone. Just normal day, not in the House of Spirits. I just just do that at home.
It's just like a Tuesday in July, and somebody opens a cupboard and out pops Austin.
That was actually my like, no joke. That was my college experience. My roommates and I would tend to hide in closets for max an hour.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Waiting for
literally
people
anybody to
come.
open the door.
Yep, and then we just scare the crap out of them as best we could. I have a video of me scaring my roommate Cole.
Oh my God.
Oh, shout out Cole. Go watch his stream.
Go watch Craps and Daniel's show. That's Crapster with a K.
You're just gonna be the whole episode.
Just keep plugging other things.
You can watch his show on what is it, VR Chat. He has a talk show. He's a funny guy.
Nah, you know what? No, he's got to give me $20. Noel can follow that.
Put it back when we get the $20.
But yeah, no, I haven't really. Other than working, I haven't really been doing anything lately. I'm about to have a lot of free time, so I'm actually going to actually work on running a campaign again, because I do want to try. As much as I've said that I never want to DM again, I do kind of want to DM again.
The more you play,
fucking liar.
it's it gets exciting.
Well, I will say too, I'm really excited with the new 1D&D playtest stuff coming out, and I really want to try it out in my homebrew campaign. So
I would love that to be able, especially
cool.
as a player, to be able to learn, because I haven't read the 1D&D yet.
So
I have downloaded the sheet, and I've watched what people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, have you heard what we said? Because we did an episode of that. Huh?
We did an episode.
Because I know a lot of people.
Have you subscribed to Pixel Dragons?
Plug
our own podcast on our own podcast.
Excuse me, I've been traveling for the
Austin has been plugging every other thing.
So you've had time to listen to stuff. What's your excuse?
My excuse is my ADHD.
I
still haven't finished. I feel like I still haven't finished session 2 of Critical Role, and I'm working so hard.
We are much shorter than Critical Role.
Yeah.
You see my struggle.
The unmedicated ADHD is really kicking our ass this year.
The chosen to be unmedicated ADHD.
I'm not doing this by choice. I'm begging for chemical balance, chemicals. Give me chemicals.
Give me the drugs.
We were gonna talk about some 1D&D stuff, but then you showed up. So hey, we're doing this episode now.
That'll be next episode.
Yeah.
Don't worry, kids. We're gonna talk about it.
After
Sorry,
we've actually
ruined everything.
No.
Actually, this was the original plan. We were prepping Plan B, and then you came back. So I'm like, okay, work.
Do it.
To
that point, there do seem to be some interesting changes that, it'd be really cool to play with them. I hope they release some more class stuff, because they've only released the extra class stuff, but no spellcasters or anybody else. So to do a well-round... No, I mean, by the time we need to do it. By the time we need to play it, I'm saying. But
and I'll have to listen to it, for sure.
Hell, you might be part of it. Shit.
Yeah, I'm here for a month.
we need playtesters. Austin, get over here.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You've got free time.
Bernie Reginald Sunders is
now a rogue, because he's either a rogue, a bard, or what's the other one?
A rogue, a bard, or a ranger.
At some point.
Yeah,
he is a ranger already.
There you go.
He's a planar. Right. What is it? I forget what it's called, but it's the planar one, the one that can detect portals.
I forget what it's called too. I've never played a ranger.
It's one of the newer ones.
Yes, it is from a different.
It's not Gloomstalker. It's not Gloomstalker. That's a different thing.
Not
right?
Gloomstalker. Gloomstalker would be cool.
Oh,
Horizon
Walker.
I'm a Horizon Walker, and he speaks like this, kind of like he did in the other episodes. His name's Bernie Sunders.
Well, the kids haven't heard that yet.
It's coming out. It's getting out.
Bernie Sunders, he's a fun guy.
Well, actually, yeah, let's get into it, because we're into it. Last time we spoke to Austin on the pod, he had just started.
About a year ago,
a little more. He had just started playing as a DM, and now you're a year and some in. We're about that long into our campaign, and you've also started playing in another campaign at a game store. Tell us, what's your journey been? What have you learned?
There's been so much learning. It is definitely because as I've probably said before, the reason I started DMing was because I wanted to, during the pandemic, I was lacking in the directing experience and that type of stuff. I wanted to do something, so I ended up playing D&D. And I listened to all of Critical Role, as one does, of season 1 of campaign 1.
Some do.
Less than a year.
As some do. Varun has yet to interact with any.
Listen to any of that bullshit.
And
hey now.
It's fun.
No,
it's
I watched the show.
And I there's definitely been a lot of learning, especially when it comes to note taking and making sure that because the one thing that I learned is that since I am still so new, I still cling to source material. So my campaign recently has moved into the Storm King's Wrath. And it worked out how it did, to kind of fit into it. But I also have the freedom to be able to, work with my players and kind of expand upon their stories and really kind of delving deep into each one of their backstories, giving them something special in a game to make them feel more involved in it, so that then they have that, because my goal now especially is trying to get them to open up and play without me having to participate. And in our last session, I got that where I literally, though I was quite a few IPAs in, it was one of those things as a DM where it was really cool to just kind of listen and just kind of be. And it is that thing where one big thing that I've learned is to know, instead of planning what people can do, it's more planning about the people that you're going to interact with. And then, because you gave me great information of not railroading someone, but giving them a push in the right direction to try to move along the story. Because I was, at the last session that we had, there was a lot of me waiting to see if someone would take the next step. But the thing is I was putting you guys in an open field when I really needed to put you in a fenced in field so that you would actually explore instead of staying where you are. And I did that in this past session.
We were just in a loose, open world situation where we had a bunch of threads that we could follow, but it was we needed more specific enrichment in our enclosure.
And that was because it was interesting, because I feel like it was sandwiched within two things where I was kind of feeling it out. And because we did that for one where we traveled a very long distance, a lot of things happened. For those who are familiar with the Storm King's Wrath, there's a lot of fire giants involved and things like that. And one thing that we did in this one was, and I was trying to keep you guys on track, was the fact that you guys ran into a Cambion, some hidden Cambions and some demon worshippers. And it seemed like that was the path that you guys were taking. And so I needed to try to take it a little bit into my own hands, allow that to expand, but also be all right, let's get back on this track, but without trying to force it. So I was able to make it kind of a plot point for later, to be able to expand upon that demon arc where you guys are doing your thing, but then maybe it might come in and explode in your face, or information will come in and then you will kind of take a different direction based on that. But it is it's God of War gaming. You have such a you have free will to go wherever you want, but it's in the confines of the story so that you can it's not just chaos. It's controlled chaos at a tavern, maybe.
Yeah. And even with that, Austin did try to put a carrot on a stick and lead us to a certain town. We ran across.
I said carrot on a stick, but just come over here, get over here.
Calls the cops. They're not going in the direction I want them to.
They did call the police, and that's
no, who called the cops on us? Somebody called the cops on us.
The woman that you threw in the well.
That's right. We did throw a woman in a well. Listen, it's Dungeons and Dragons, baby. You're gonna throw a woman in a well, and then it's gonna turn out that she's worshiping demons or something. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We threw a woman in a well. We started running away. The cops got called. The bridge started disappearing. Our bard came in clutch with a nice...
Bard stuff.
Did some Bard stuff, rolled a 26 on a persuasion check to, like, get them to, like, hey, no, it's cool, like, we work for so-and-so, and we're, like, here to uncover, like, some
And that
conspiracy.
was smooth on his part,
It was
too.
so smooth.
Because it's, like, usually Bards, like, as a game mechanic are smooth, but his name's Alcas, and Alcas... Alka-Seltzer. Plus. And he pulled a quick one where I was just like, that was some smooth talking.
No. He there was a lot of smooth talking of a lot of shit this last session. I feel like our party, like our players have evolved over the course of the year. People definitely feel more comfortable like giving their input at the table and like speaking at all, you know? Because like initially, I think everyone was very shy. I was the only one that had like a lot of previous experience. Like I think Eddie's played like one or two games before, or like everyone's like aware of what D&D is, but hadn't like necessarily like played a campaign.
And even seen one character whose name is Ari in the campaign, like her character started very muted, but as things keep on going, she seems much more relaxed. And she's into it. She's realizing that she has to be the moral compass of the party because we're all assholes. Yes. We're all awful. Like the dinner party you guys got kicked out of in like 5 seconds. We had no reason to get kicked out of there before the appetizers even came out.
Okay.
Well,
okay. Elaborate now.
So... The Lord of Zymorvan Hall is
Harthos Zymorvan.
Harthos Zymorvan.
He was hurt. His son left his household.
So we go to Zymorvan Hall because they have a giant slayer sword that we need because we're fighting giants all the time, and it'd be nice to have a sword that is for slaying giants. You know, you need to have the right tool for the job, you know?
Measure twice, cut once.
Exactly. The fabric scissors are for fabric, you know? The giant slayer sword
is for giants.
It's for giants.
Don't use it on rocks.
You don't use it on gnomes, you know? Like, you don't use it on a knoll.
It'd be overkill. So, we go to him and we're like, hey, bud, your old, like, one of your old friends sent us to you because we need the sword. And he's like, oh, well, my stupid son stole the sword because he ran off with some common whore. And we were all like, whoa. Very classic, what is his
conservative name? Parent.
No, but what's his name from Danny DeVito and...
Frank from
It's Always Sunny. Whore. My son left with a dirty whore.
So... And he was just talking a lot of shit. And Ari, our ranger, was just like, well, you're saying a lot of like mean things about people from this town. Have you ever been to this town? And me, I'm playing Layla, my druid, and I ask, have you ever been in love? And that was what he was like, whoa. I'm leaving, actually, and all of you better get out of here by sunset because otherwise it's your heads. And luckily our Dragonborn barbarian, actually, Svarog,
the one who you expect least, the guy who pulls teeth from every single person he has killed and has also eaten, I think, every single thing he has killed, he has tried at least one nibble of. Yeah, like he's killed things by ripping their tongues out with his own mouth, right? Like, he's classic Dragonborn stuff. He's like very, well, he's not classic because Dragonborn is such a spectrum. Yeah. Like, he's way more, like, animalistic than some
classic people barbarian from the sound of it.
He's very classic
Whenever barbarian. He runs on all fours.
Yes. He's very lizard-like. Yes. He really leans into, the animal lizard aspect of it. And he's the one who went to the Lord and was like, hey, sorry for my friends. They're you know, like, we just, like, can you let us stay the night at least? And he was like, no. Yeah. You can stay 3 hours after sunset. That's it. Yeah. Get out. I think Sparrow just wanted the food. Yeah. We had enough time to eat dinner and take some home, so. That's true. And then he took the boat from you, so you weren't able to make it back. Yeah. It was a lot of traveling back and forth. Somehow in one session we covered 3 weeks worth, and it's mostly just because we were walking back and forth between the same 3 cities. You guys kept on going to the teleportation circles, but you never took them.
Why?
It wasn't convenient. It was like the teleportation circles went to everywhere except the towns that we needed to go to.
But you kept on going back and being like, but maybe they'll change. maybe he'll have a way to take me to Citadel Felbar. Which I will say, the one thing which is very interesting, and I'll say was one of my favorite moments, which might be spoiling a little bit for Lisa here. But there's a moment where I introduced a character that I've been wanting to introduce for quite some time. And I'm still trying to, because Ari, the same character, is someone who she's sticking to her guns in the fact that she doesn't want to go back to where she's from. And so it was very interesting. So I was like, well, I'm going to bring where she's from to her. And so that I could kind of start to stir the pot. And so, and it was something that was interesting because it is definitely that D&D thing where you can choose to go one way, you can choose to go the other way. And this garrison of troops from this place come through and you meet the king pretty much of this area. And I think only one person saw him and everyone else heard him. And I was just, for me, it was chilling. Because I could feel what Ari was feeling, and it's one of those things where you put a crack on the door, which is like one of the most satisfying things that I've learned as being a DM is when you crack open the door and it just sits there for a while.
You found it.
Yeah, and it's just
you figured out how to use their backstories to emotionally manipulate them.
Oh my god, no, he did it twice this last session, and it was masterful. The other thing he did was one of our other player characters, the Calabax, is a warlock, Asimar. His sister, part of his backstory is that his sister was murdered by this like shadowy like conglomerate.
Yes.
And
which he revealed all in this session.
The lady that we threw in the well was a part of that like
shadowy conglomerate.
Yeah, and so we go to this archmage and we're talking about it, and the archmage is like blah blah blah, like saying a bunch of stuff, and the character at Calabax is just like not getting it. And Layla, also just because I'm like trying to facilitate this because I'm seeing what Austin is doing. I'm seeing what Austin is doing.
See the writing on the wall.
Lisa knows what's going on.
Turn around and look.
I'm putting the dots together. I'm putting 1 + 1 and it's equaling 2.
Lisa's been in this position before.
Oh my god. No, we'll talk about and I'm just like I've been playing Layla very blunt and very like I have just had this thought and it's gonna come out of my mouth.
Really honest.
Yeah, just like no filter, just like the thoughts are happening and they're coming out of my mouth. There's no like process in between that. And so she's just like, a Calabax, they killed your sister to corrupt you. It wasn't about her. It was about corrupting you. Because he was like, but like, if their goal is to corrupt people, why would they kill her? What did they want with her? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's not about her! It's not about her! It's about you!
I'm the corrupted one.
Which also, to add to that, because this is something that happened right before this, is he had gotten a soul coin. This was like the thing that it was.
And you could tell he had like no...
Yeah.
He had no... like inkling and that would have been it.
Yeah, and they didn't want to give it up. And so there was a certain mage who was just like, you need to give this to me because this is going to corrupt you. And he did something to get it to stay, which is something that was so uncharacteristic of him, is his character usually wears a mask because he doesn't want to show his face. And so he took off the mask in front of the entire party and was able to successfully, it'd be really funny if he wasn't able to do it. But he was able to, and this is something that I added. I like talked to some people on Reddit about it to figure out what I could do to like make this ailment or curse more physical inside the game, or like something that he could use in a narrative way. And so he ended up rolling a charisma check to be able to call forth the curse that he has, and his pretty much a wraith, like what did I say? Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah,
trying to
when
grab
Bilbo
the
Baggins'
ring,
face like
his
contorts.
face contorts and like twists, and then if anyone looks at him or fails a charisma saving throw, then they are feared. Like they're frightened of him for the rest of the turn.
Yeah.
And he showed that to everyone.
Yeah, we all saw it.
And it was that thing of just like, are you being corrupted? And this type of thing.
Or are you already corrupt? Yeah. Or like, what's happening? Is this why you've been wearing the mask the whole time? Is that what you see? Like, what's going on here? And it's just, honestly, as a DM, it's so satisfying to see the stories like develop. Like, even not even touching on it too much, but your dream as Layla of this. She had a dream, which I would love. I know for Varun has, because you've played with Layla before, and my vision for her was that she woke up because she was sleeping. She got the tree. What is it? The staff of the Woodlands,
or the Woodlands, and the Netherlands. Did I say the Netherlands?
No, we have the Nether Mountains.
Yes,
right.
The Nether Mountains are near, but you fell asleep in the tree, and you ended up kind of waking up in this dream-like state where there was a water, a pool, a place where you've been before. This elven city in the forest, and then the being with dark coals for eyes arises from the pond that she's laying in and is holding a staff, and it's her staff, the staff of the Woodlands, but it is distorted and twisted by thorns and darkness, and it plunges it into her chest, and the staff takes root as it starts to grow and shows a portal through which she sees, because you know what it is already, throws her through the Feywild to her mother, who is a tree.
A willow.
And the thorns are creeping towards it. And that's the dream that she had. And so, like, now it's so much fun to plant that into someone's mind and then be like, all right, now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All right.
And,
all right.
you know, if I had a dime for every time one of my characters got turned into a portal, I'd have 2 dimes. But it's weird that it's happened twice.
Got fucked with black goo and unknown horrors.
And like a dark passenger, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Horrors.
Horrors. Dirty whore.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, Austin, welcome to the club. You finally figured it out. Like, it can't be taught. You have to just figure out that, these things that they give me, I could use against them in the game. Not in a bad way, but in like the hooking them into the story type of way.
It's the discovery.
Yeah. It's the thing that like Brendan Lyons has talked about in some interviews, where it's like he doesn't mind when players come to him with, like, you know, like a book of backstory, because it's like, you've given me 8 pages of plot hooks you will always bite for. Let's go. Like, don't fight it when your players give you that much information.
Which is interesting with Ari, because Ari avoids all of it.
Yes, she's masterful at avoiding it. Until
she can't, which she probably won't be able to.
But that's what I'm saying, is that like we got a lot going on in that session. Like, we got the stuff with the Calabex, like, and like, you don't need to do so much in every session. No. Like, eventually she's going to, and you're going to put us in a situation where she will not be able to escape.
Yes.
Having to confront the people from her past.
Like, it's interesting with your guys' other group, your Lisa and your son and your wife and all of that, and the other game that we're playing. We'll get back to it. You know we will, once you're freed up a bit, and once stuff goes on in October. But I always seed it. I always put the breadcrumbs, and you guys try to avoid it as hard as you can. And there's gonna come a point where I'm not gonna say that you can't avoid it. I'm gonna say that you will always have a choice to avoid your problems, but it's just like in real life. You get to that point where you avoid your problems at the critical moment, and it's gonna really mess everything up. And then I want to see you guys make that choice of like, do we actually like talk about this and like, you know, resolve the stuff?
You pull a rubber band taut, and you can only hold it taut for so long until you have to let it go.
Yeah. So No, just hearing this. Yes, just awesome. Just you figured it out. You found the key. Like it's DMing. Like it's not 101. This is the secret DM no one really talks about.
It's secret DM Aikido.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I love, which I'm going to be able to do soon, because like with and then talking a little bit about the game that I am a player in. That game is is coming to an end probably close to the end of the year, and then I volunteered we're going to kind of DM swap, and I'm working with the guy who plays Farog in our campaign. We're going to work on making a espionage theater campaign where it is similar to Shakespearean theater, where it was like funded by the nobles of a house, and they all have an agenda. And they use the theater troops as a way to get out their messages, as well as thievery and deceit and espionage. And it's one thing that, like, for me as a DM, I'm very much looking forward to working with another person who could definitely be a DM. I would love to.
Oh my god, I need Alex as a DM.
Yeah, I would love to do a show.
Our friend Alex has a weird little brain, and like. I'm sure he could put us through some horrors.
Oh, great horrors.
Yeah.
It would be like the most theatrical yet, like, especially because he wrote letters for me in two of my campaigns, and they both were like beautiful.
Oh yeah, that was in the one shots, right?
In Coneyberry too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
That was all his writings.
That is interesting because, and Lisa, you and I both know people who we play with, and they're great players, and they've wanted to DM, but they also have gone through DMing and like, I never want to DM again because of playing and DMing are two different things. And like,
absolutely,
I don't.
DMing is its own playing.
Yes. Yeah,
we're all playing, but it is different.
You also have to be ready for like some of the days. At least this is what I've like expected. Certain days might not go the way that you plan. Like
almost none of them will.
Well, but not even plan. Like in terms of you go into a game and you might not leave that game feeling as good as you were before.
You don't feel satisfied with
you don't feel satisfied with it, and you're just like, is there something that I could have done that like made it more interesting, or like given a player more like something more. And it is a thing where like in checking in with the players and see like, what do you want from this, and like trying to expand upon those stories, and but then also like expand upon the stories but still keep it streamlined, like especially with what I'm doing with this group. Like I wanted you guys to go to Iron Slag, and like you took a long way to get there, but like you finally are starting to head that way. And if you didn't, I would create something else that would fit that story if like you were adamant about it. But it is something that's like, it's an issue, and if it doesn't get addressed, consequences will happen and ensue.
Yeah. Because like what I started to say and I got sidetracked is that like, even though you're learning that there is a certain amount of direction you have to give us, you're still not, because I feel like there's a lot of discourse around railroading, and I feel like a lot of people, like newer DMs who hear about it, get scared to give any direction at all for fear of railroading. There is a little bit of direction that is required. There is definitely a balance, and everyone strikes that balance a little bit differently depending on the type of story that they're telling, depending on what they're running, depending on the players. There's a lot of different factors.
In any game.
Yeah.
In any game, the DM has to give some direction at some point.
Because you can either get a Skyrim or a God of War. Like, both games are good, but like...
Even in Skyrim, you have a critical path.
Thing. Yeah.
You know what you're supposed to be doing. If your players are ever to the point where they don't know why they're doing what they're doing or what they're supposed to be doing, jump in.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Because otherwise it turns into Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing where all we do is farm.
Also,
this castle.
Romance NPCs.
And the one thing which I will say...
decorate this castle.
And set up NPCs to romance each other.
Learning as a DM, the one thing that I enjoy a lot, and I hadn't been doing for a little bit, and then I tried to do it more, create zany characters. Characters that are Harthos, like that are super conservative and might rub people the wrong way, and is just of a different age and time, because then it gives you that.
It gives the world texture.
Yeah, it gives it texture, and then because you guys met that one wizard who was at the portal, who was just super.
Cold balls.
Yeah, cold balls.
Cold balls.
Cold balls.
It's KOLLBAZ.
Cold balls.
Cold
so it's
balls?
cold balls. Okay.
But it's cold balls.
And everyone was just like, cold balls. And he was just like, don't you talk to me about that. That is not my name.
But
What's up,
it's
cold
your
balls?
name. That's what your name is. It's cold balls. That is your government name, sir.
And knowing him, because he's just so flustered, and he's just like, I haven't seen anyone come through this portal in forever, and so what the fuck?
And people come in and immediately start bullying him.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't appreciate.
Maybe there was a reason.
That's very. It's one of those little. It's the scene you put in the trailer where it's very telling of what our party is. Where it's we come through a portal, we meet this new person, our first instinct is to bully.
I'm just waiting for you guys to meet someone who's literally a king or a noble, of a very high house, that will you'll say something and then you're just gonna go straight to prison.
Straight to jail.
No, 100%. Layla's going to say some shit.
Oh yeah,
because it's not no thoughts head empty. It's more
no
thoughts head empty because all the thoughts are already out.
I'm just waiting for someone though who will know, who's more strategic, who will know your know your weaknesses and will
play with
you with fire, and that way that will just because that honestly.
I also love the revelation that nobody realized that Layla was tall.
Oh yeah, no, we learned that recently, that Layla's one of the tallest people on our entire party because we thought she was very short.
She just has short person energy. Yeah. she has little guy energy. Her vibe is that of a little guy. She's so mischievous and feral.
I can see that. I think that's more on you, Lisa, because I always did picture Layla very tall, but yes, the way you play her is just it's Lisa.
Yeah, because and the fun thing, which I love, especially with Lisa's character, is the fact that there is so much fire involved at the moment, and her character hates.
Oh yeah, fire giants.
I've almost died twice.
Oh yeah,
but I've also
no one has ever died though in my campaign yet. Though it'll
happen.
Close.
I want to talk to you when that happens.
You guys don't have any diamonds.
We don't have any diamonds. No.
Actually, you might have some diamonds.
We have one, at least.
I honestly, from the notes that I looked at, you technically should have 300 gold.
Yeah, we have 3 100 gold piece diamonds, and I think they're all with Beldar because he's the one who can cast Revivify. I remember specifically being Lisa at the table, just give these to
power
Beldar.
player.
Give these to the cleric, please, for the love of God.
Do not spend these.
Whatever you do, don't lose them.
Because someone almost died in my game today, and that would be really bad because everyone's a barbarian and I'm the only healer and I'm a ranger.
I mean, you can give the players as many diamonds as you want. They can just spend them on dumb shit. Yeah. Reviving horses, reviving randos out of nowhere.
Oh my god, that's right, we revived the horses!
And then someone immediately needed to be revived! And you're out of diamonds!
That does sound like something you would do.
I remember, Lisa.
Oh my god! Wait, Varun, what was the name of Caitlyn's character's god again? Not the new one, the old one that she's trying to escape.
Leviatar.
That was
that's
the one we were talking about yesterday.
Self-inflicted pain.
Yeah.
Pain
Leviatar.
The pain goddess. We were talking about Leviatar yesterday. It came up in conversation.
There was some, because the
we're talking backstory.
All the things.
Secrets. But actually, to bring up that you're playing now, how has your experience as a player now that you've been playing as everybody's favorite Tortle Ranger, obsessed with
Reginald Sunders.
Bernie Reginald Sunders, obsessed with moss and ooze.
Yes, he loves ooze and fungus.
Oozes and funguses. How is your experience as a player now? Has that informed your DMing at all, or vice versa?
I mean, the interesting thing is especially working with different DMs because I'm not DMing this campaign, and yes, it is of course
naturally.
And it's fun because like for this story, this one is a shorter one that's more of a horror escape type campaign. And it was very interesting because I had Bernie Reginald Sunders. I was like, yeah, I got this guy. His name is Bernie. I got a bunch of moss on my back. And then instantly I get put into jail. They wash off all my moss. They take my pennant of, my lily pad, which I carried with me since I was a tiny turtle. And they take that from me. And I spend like the rest of the campaign just sulking in a corner as they feed me slop and it turns me slightly amphibious. And this whole thing, but it's interesting to play as a character because for me, I am definitely a performer in that way where I love to role play. I love it. And if I can, and especially with one of the characters that I work with, his name's Golly, and he's a dwarf. And it's this bromance that is the strongest. And it's funny because with the dating game that we did, a very similar relationship brewed with Bernie and one of the contestants. And it was pretty much a very similar relationship. I just think Bernie really just attaches to one person. And then
he's into bros.
And he's just into bros. And he just loves, because like one of his catchphrase, I guess now, is, have you met my friend Golly? And then I just take, because originally we were chained together, because we were cell bros. And during one of our breakouts, I would just swing him.
Two bros sitting in a jail cell, 2 feet apart because they're chained together.
And they might be gay. And it's just that thing where it's so much fun to kind of play with it, especially because I just played today and I wasn't able to be there in person, so I was able to play online. But it's fun to explore, especially because I do feel there is a camaraderie between players that the DM not is left out of, but there is a... there's certain things because you can talk to your party about things and like strategies and things like that. But the DM is restricted to talk to you about certain things from the game. And it is very interesting to get that experience, especially to kind of like explore and talk to other people. Because one thing that was really cool for me as a player was I had a fever dream as Bernie where I was on a beach and I was kind of buried in the sand. And I saw a bunch of tiny turtles hatching out of eggs and starting to make their way into the water. And a bunch of seagulls started coming down trying to kill them. And I was like, I go to try to save them. And and then I failed a certain roll and the sand starts to take me more and more and I start being buried under the sand. And I just hear the screams of turtle children being eaten by birds. And it was something that, like, as a character, I had no backstory in a certain way, other than the part that I had, like, 23 siblings. And now it became this thing of, like, maybe he lost his siblings and he couldn't protect them. And it's like this thing where the DM did something that informed more backstory to me, which makes Bernie so much more...
gives him depth.
It gives him depth, and it gives him this thing because, like, Bernie Sunders is, of course, a funny character.
Yeah.
In of itself, he speaks with a New York accent. He's loved ooze. He loves what is it? I think now he likes fiends. He likes fiends too, but that's because he's been hanging out with a lot of fiends.
Who's the original progenitor of Bernie Sunders?
Oh, my wife.
Audience.
My wife. My wife created Bernie Sunders.
Yeah.
I gave him voice. She gave him life.
It's a co-creation.
But it is one of those things where it's so interesting to, like, just grow in those characters. And I so look forward to being another character, especially one that I get to create. And because it's just like, and like the game itself is like, so much fun, and I really haven't gotten to that part where it's become somewhat therapeutic when you like play a long campaign and you kind of like deal out your issues.
That's a really specific thing. It's not like a given.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah. But it's like one of those things where I guess not even your issues, but you get to a point where you're so into the characters' issues and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to do this, like I want to get this done, or like I want to prove to my turtle father that I'm worth something.
Yeah, you need the catharsis of like completing this character's arc.
Yes, and I'm very excited to see where that goes, especially with these characters, because it's so funny because like I'm literally the only healer in this entire group, and everyone else is a barbarian.
Okay,
and we're in like this dungeon crawl horror thing, and yeah, I mean, for the past session, though, I didn't get good hits in until the last few hits, because the gibbers, we have a roper, and the gibbering mouthers. Yeah, gibbering mouthers, and I was just stupefied for pretty much most of the fight.
Ooh,
I was tangled up.
And it was just the barbarians going whack.
Yeah, and the barbarians were just like whack, 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 whack.
Rage, I rage.
Which I will say, it is a good build as a Horizon Walker, as a turtle. Because I was able to do a shit ton of damage because you're able to Hunter's Mark, create the temporal teleportation assist for your attacks, and I also am a duelist, so I add +2 to all my attacks, so I'm actually a heavier hitter than all of the barbarians.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And then also your AC is crazy.
Yeah, my AC is 17, and if I get in my shell,
if
it's
you get
like
the
19.
Shell.
Yeah.
Shell shock. If Golly could kick me real hard when I'm in my shell.
So you just become a shell from Mario.
But it is so much fun to like be able to play, and I'm looking forward to like expanding and learning more as I play.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the longer form stuff is it just comes with time. You got to have the right group that can keep it going, and if they take a break, be able to revisit it, Lisa. Because I know, like, the minute you guys get back into that game, you just be like, oh, right, this is what we're doing. Backstory. Yeah. There's a cult over there that raised Ro. There's this lady over here that likes my wife. Oh, what does that mean?
Yeah, no, don't love it. My son is sneaking out and going to raves when there are fully 2 different extra planar armies that are trying to recruit him. No. No. My mom's being weird. Your mom's real mom might not be dead like I thought she was. Yeah, my magic mom's being weird. My real mom might still be alive, and that's weird. Like there's a lot going on.
I want Ro to finally figure out what to do with her gods.
Our artificer doesn't remember his best friend.
Yep.
That's so stressful. That's
immediately.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Varun. Wick's storyline is the thing that's stressing me out. It's Wick and Lucian that I'm like, please.
I will have Saul on one day and we will talk about it. But yeah, like for reference, Austin, one of our players started up after another one dropped the game just because schedule and whatever, and came in session 1 or 2, dies out and out, dies, and they have spent all of their diamonds reviving horses, they can't revive them. So
that's why you guys have killed so many horses in my camp.
Listen.
So they really
will revive the horses.
They really like their horses, but I gave them, just because of like the situation. It's like, God damn, you're just like 2 sessions in. He's already tied in with one of the
3 sessions.
Yeah, with one of the big characters in the campaign. That's how he's coming in, and just immediately, so I'm just like, all right, he's already got a god that he worships, and it's Kali, the god of destruction. So I'm like, okay, devil's bargain here. And we role play it out. This goddess will bring you back to life, but you have to lose something. Something from you has to be destroyed. And it has to be something meaningful. So the thing that he chooses is the friendship with the prince of the land that got him into the campaign, that they saw in like the first couple sessions where they had to interact with these 2. So now he's back to life. motivated by this god of destruction, but doesn't remember the most important person in his life.
Oh,
Varun, you're talking, and like I'm literally like holding back here. I'm like remembering, and like no, it was deeply upsetting. Honestly, masterful work. Thank you so much. That was really like a masterclass in just how to just be just abhorrent and evil as a DM.
Hey.
Well,
but you know,
similar to scare acting, it's when you get someone to cry, you've done a good job.
Exactly.
I've done that multiple times. I didn't even mean to.
There's the part of me that acknowledges like what, like honestly, that is some masterful DMing of like realizing like, no, this person just joined my table. I can't have them leave like this.
I was like, I can't have you just roll a new character.
But also like, I mean, yeah, they could have just rolled a new character, but also like you made it really interesting of like, I'm gonna keep you here, but I'm gonna make it hurt.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's something that I think I find as a DM. That's
it's consequences and
it's
actions.
Great. Yes, because when someone gets, and it's that thing of like, let your party fail, because when they fail,
that's when they learn.
That's when they learn, and that's when like, especially because I did it a lot more this past session of like getting you guys caught on the bridge, getting kicked out of the dinner, like these things of your name doesn't carry weight yet, and so it doesn't really
where we stroll into town and we're like, we're chaos at the tavern, and they're like, you're a bunch of idiots, please leave.
Who?
Exactly.
They're called Cat.
Chaos at the tavern.
and it's chaos exclamation point at the tavern.
At the tavern. And then the campaign that we've adorned
and
its
yes,
name
Varun,
is...
I am the one who came up with that name. Thank
I
you.
could have
and
guessed.
and what's the title of our campaign?
It's
Always Sunny in
It's
Phandelver.
always Sunny in Phandelver.
So that's why I said the horror line, because it just made sense.
Horror. Yeah,
My
no, we're gonna have to like
wife.
walk into one of these taverns and there's like
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Yeah. Poor wife. Oh my god.
My whore wife.
How many times have we said whore?
A lot.
It's okay. We're not monetized yet.
Everyone who's tuning into this episode, you can go back and rewatch. This time you'll have a drinking game. Every single time we say whore, you drink.
But it's very specifically whore.
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 The 2-syllable.
The 2-syllable whore.
Okay, so you like being a player because you don't know what's gonna happen, and you can kind of play, with your character, I guess.
Yeah, and I love the role play of it, because the deeper you get into it, it's similar to creating the NPCs for my campaigns. Like recently, I honestly think Crowan, who's the wizard, archmage of in the campaign, who they've been kind of coming to and kind of has been their guiding force.
I stole a cat from him.
You did. He was gonna give it to you anyway.
If I had asked
Not
for
a
it,
cat,
he would
a
have...
tressum.
A tressum. It's a flying cat.
Flying cat.
Oh.
Or I picked an orange one. No brain cells.
Yeah.
Only vibes.
And but there was definitely like a time when I felt in that, when I get to role play, and like when I was talking to a Calabax, and when you said something, I think, and he looked over at you, it was that time when you said like maybe you're being corrupted, and he like looked over at you, and just that to be able to feel with the players is a fun thing. And to be able to role play with them in their discovery and sorrow.
Yeah, you're much more articulate with it. My explanation is usually like, I love them and I get to fuck with them.
I mean, yes, two kinds of people.
It's true though. Both of them are good.
No. You mentioned like making people cry. I've made people cry in multiple campaigns. I didn't mean to, but it's when you pluck on those story points.
Yeah. There was a moment in this past session where like it wasn't something that like Austin and I had ever really talked about with Layla's backstory. Like,
oh yeah, we
had talked about some of her backstory. Like we have ideas, we have thoughts. But one of the NPCs like did something to sort of prove a point, to prove how like dangerous she is and how like how much she's like should not be fucked with. And it, like, kind of triggered this, like, a fleeing sort of reaction, a flight reaction from Layla, who's usually, like, fight first.
And that was one of those things where I did that and I was like, oh, like, this is... Because I was trying to get Layla out of a comfort zone. Yeah. Because I feel like she always wants to fight. And so this person is very... And,
like, somehow you did exactly the thing that, like... was like, this is the thing that's gonna... And in that moment, too, I, as a player, I made a conscious improv choice where I've made a choice about the way this character behaved in this situation, and now I have to take stock of that, of like, why did she make that choice? What consequences does this have? What does this mean going forward? And it was as simple as the NPC did something, I reacted in a certain way. It wasn't like a big deal in the scene. It was just that I stepped back and I hid behind one of the other PCs. And I was quiet for the rest of the interaction, which is not something that happens usually.
But it also adds to your character. Like, and that's something that I think is really cool, in similar to the story that I was talking about, the baby turtles. Like, it's something that you don't really... you didn't plan, but then it's something that even if it didn't make sense before, it makes so much more sense now to be able to expand your character and create more depth and more curiosity from the PCs.
Yeah, and it's something I've experienced with both of you as DMs, is like, as a player, sometimes a DM will hand you a moment without even knowing it necessarily, but they will hand you a moment that gives you, like, I can either... just sort of let this moment pass, or I can choose to react to it in a way that reveals something about this character to me and to the party and to everyone. And sometimes it's like, here's a moment, and the way you react is not necessarily how you, like, expected to, but you realize something of like, oh no, yeah, this is the truth about this person that I'm playing.
You can choose to defy your own expectations.
Yeah. Because it's like I had this idea of who Layla was, but like sometimes you get put in a situation and you're like, no, actually she would react this way because she's gone through the X, Y, and Z situation that would make it so that her reaction is different than what her normal reaction would be.
Yeah, if it's it's like the party dynamic in general. Like in the beginning, especially if they're a bunch of newer players, they'll think they're hot shit until they get knocked down their first like combat or something like that, or they get immediately arrested by the police because they did something insane, and they're like, okay, they learn there. But then once they get strong enough, it's not knocking them down because they know what that feels like. It's putting them on the other side of it now, where they're so strong that they could be dangerous. And what is that showing them that? And then what do they do with that?
Yeah. Right now we're still in the phase of like, we are the ones in danger.
You're like getting powerful though.
We are getting power.
You're always in danger indeed.
But we are still in a position where like, we are in more danger than we are. Like, it's still bound. It's the seesaw is still in a way of like, you're
still on the lower end.
Yeah, we're still in the less favorable position. And we keep sticking our hands where they don't belong.
And even the staff situation with your character is something where you felt powerful.
Oh, and I thought it was hot shit. And then...
she uses the wall of thorns that the staff of Woodlands gives her, and then quickly her staff starts to crack. And it's one of those things that you gave me of like, if anything were to happen to my staff, I would go feral.
Yep. And I've already established that like, if the staff breaks or somebody steals the staff or anything, I'm handing my character sheet over. Because she will go completely berserk.
Oh, come on. You gotta play that out, Lisa.
I know. Here's the thing.
You gotta.
An evolution in me as a player is that now I'm not afraid of my character dying or of losing my character sheet. I want to see what the fuck happens. That's why I keep poking the bear, because I'm like, I've shifted to playing as a poke the bear type character.
Which we even talked about, like a Calabax even becoming the villain of our session.
Oh, I've had
because he literally is like, at least from what we see, if he doesn't make the right choice, he could become so torn, because like even they were saying
overwhelmed by the forces that are influencing him.
And it's something that like, and there's certain things which I can't say here because I'm in the room, but there is an element that I have in my back pocket that would break him, and it would he would literally go berserk.
And I think I know what it is, but I'm not saying anything.
DM tip to new DMs: do not use this bullet at the beginning. Save this for the very end.
I have it, and it is going to be delicious when it comes out, if it comes out.
Let it braise, let it slow cook. Give it that.
See where he goes. See if you need to use it or not.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things, because you get giddy as a DM, and
when you have that realization of like, oh my god, they've given me so much power. Yeah, and I think that's the thing that like I did struggle with as a DM, and like when I do eventually revisit DMing, something that I do want to work on is like I'm that person that I'll buy something for someone and I can't wait till their birthday or until Christmas, until whatever gift giving holiday. I'm just going to give it to them the next day because I'm too excited. I will immediately text them like, look what I just bought you. Like I can't hold these things in. So like something that I did struggle with like when I was running a campaign is that like I had a moment like that where I was like, oh my God, this is so juicy. And I think I like wanted to implement it way too quickly. And
what was it? Was it the one I played in, or?
I started putting some stuff in there for I honestly like the whole the Baba Yaga moment where she basically like forced everybody to reveal their secrets or like reveal something, or like in retrospect I feel like I was rushing things a little too much with that.
Okay, I could see that, because you're basically forcing us all to talk backstory. Yeah, immediately.
And not and in retrospect it was a little inorganic. And I also
now Lisa would be like, let it percolate. Let it
now
simmer.
That's exactly it. Is like now I want to revisit that campaign, maybe some new players, some new characters, and let things simmer for a little bit longer. Especially now since I actually have an idea of like I want to run it in like a certain number of sessions. I wanted to take like I have more of an idea of like pacing and like a timeline for it. So I do want to
always good to have.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say any much more because you're going to end up playing in that again.
Can I? If I could keep my old character, that'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I already had shit going on for him, so like that makes my life easier.
A holy rogue with a sunblade, just like
Varuna's
I have such a weird build.
Varuna's that guy who's like, I'm gonna play a human because nobody ever plays a human.
No one plays a human. I'm just gonna be a human.
There were no humans in that party. Like Varun was the one human in the party.
I'm Bob the human.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be a human in that campaign now.
No, not allowed. Varun has to be the only human. He has to be a special boy. I'll
be a train conductor for that campaign.
Everybody Skimbleshanks the railway cat.
Skimbleshanks the railway cat.
All right. I think we're pretty much caught up. So 1 year in Austin. You've already talked. You've already mentioned a bunch of them, but like, now that you have some more experience under your belt, what sort of lessons would you want to impart to anyone listening?
The big thing is if you're starting out, definitely start from source material. It helps because it gives you a fence to be able to create, and definitely work with your players. See what they want from their characters, or like what the main things that they want from it, because like certain characters in my campaign like wanted to like find a certain character, like one of them wants to find a fawn that like helped raised them, and I was like, all right, well I'm gonna keep that and like see if I can use that somehow, and like create notes for sure. And my biggest thing is put your notes in one place. Don't put your notes in multiple places, because you will have the urge to just write on whatever's closest to you. Take the time, get a notepad that is dedicated just to DM stuff, write it down, and constantly revise your notes.
Even with a notebook, man. Yeah. You can take notes and then you go back to the notes. If you haven't titled like what the notes are, you go back like what the hell was I writing? Exactly.
And like, so that's why I love writing and then digitizing, and kind of the day after. Because usually what I'll do is like I'll do the session, I'll take a D&D break day where I'm kind of like no D&D for today, and then I get back, because then I get excited because I'm like, all right, now I want to get back into it, and I digitize my notes and I put them into a folder so that I can access them, and and like keep a list of names when you create a character. Write their name down. And also motivate your players to take notes.
Yeah.
That one's hard.
Because if they don't remember, then their players, then their characters don't remember.
Yep.
I mean, but like you said earlier, the good thing about that is that then if like nobody remembers, then you can just say it was something, and nobody's going to correct you.
His name was Jimmy Bob.
But yeah, and I think it's the last nugget that I'll give of like, for DMing and stuff is don't get disheartened by a bad game. Like it's things got to break before they can
by a bad game or a bad session
just like and this is with any art form. Like you're going to beat yourself up over something, and like no matter what it is, and the biggest thing is just have fun in the game, because if you're having fun and people are having fun and you feel that vibe, then like it doesn't matter if you
thought it,
like there's one small thing that went awry. Like people are having a good time, and as long as you're in it and like dedicated to the characters, then that's like all that really matters.
Yeah, we were, I will say that like we laugh a lot during our campaign, like during our games. Like we do have a lot of fun. So you're doing great. You're doing great, bud.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's a good sign. That's my first question whenever I go to get feedback from people is like, did everyone have fun? If the answer is yes, all right, primary goal achieved. Then I ask for other feedback.
I will say I'm proud of you for sending that Google form. Did anybody actually fill it out?
No, not yet.
Oh, the Google questionnaire.
I sent it out. I'm waiting for responses. I haven't checked it in a while though. So
I was gonna say there's so many ways you can capture feedback at the table, individually. Google Forms. We've done that one before, Lisa.
Yeah, we sure have.
I'm waiting to see. I could probably check it tonight and I'll see the feedback. But it is one of those things where I want to know, especially for characters who aren't as into role playing or into certain things. But yeah, it's I've had fun learning the past year, and it's one of those games that I never really thought I'd get into so much as I have, and I think it's just like it's one of those things that's just so much fun. It's pure joy, honestly, playing this game and being able to like actually be in a video game with other people, and it's like honestly the best audience you could ask for are your friends and peers that like want to hear the story, come back every time. Like it feels like you're writing an Oscar winning film, like each time, because you're like you go out and these people are coming and want to experience it with you.
Why do you think we made this podcast to begin with, man? That's the whole reason I'm going to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. And it's good, and it's to like, and it's art, so it has to be cared for delicately, and everything like has to be, what is it, stewed on and raised, and everything has to be slow cooked.
Let's keep going with the food metaphors.
Put that bitch in your crock pot. The
train's gotta just roll really slowly into port.
You put it in your crock pot.
Chug its
way out. You put it on low. You go to work. You come back. You have soup.
Yeah.
I think we've lost the thread a little bit.
We've lost the thread.
We don't want any microwave DMs here.
No TV dinner DMs.
Yeah, no TV
Okay,
dinner
I'm
DMs.
gonna make a note of that. That's the title of this. That's the title of this episode.
No TV dinner DMs.
No microwave DMs.
Wait, who's the Julia Child of the? Oh no, it's Matt Mercer. Never mind. Matt Mercer's the Julia Child of.
Who's the Gordon Ramsay of DM?
Brendan Lee Mulligan.
He's great, but he also yells at you and makes you feel bad once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I'm tweeting that.
Okay, I think we've reached the end of the episode. Lisa, give us the outro. Are you actually tweeting this right now?
Yes, I'm
God
actually tweeting
damn
this.
it!
We're live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live. Do you have anything to? Do you have anything to plug?
I mean,
we've plugged House of Spirits.
Yeah, we plugged House of Spirits. What was the thing? Was there another thing I was going to plug? Chicago's a great place. Visit Chicago.
Come to Chicago.
Evanston area. I've been there. Very nice.
What's the game store that you?
Oh yeah.
play at?
If you ever are anyone who's a listener who is in Chicago, the place where I play, Bernie Reginald Sunders, is a place called Good Game Chicago off the Fullerton stop in Chicago proper.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great place. Great board games, free tables. They play Warhammer there all the time, which I honestly think is the most fascinating thing to watch. I've never played before, but it literally is mesmerizing.
I've seen it played. It's fun to watch. I don't think I'd get into it.
And it's like chess on steroids.
There's a lot.
But yeah, and that is definitely, if anyone's interested in the spooky season, check out House of Spirits, Haunted Cocktail Soiree. If you don't see it this year, it will be probably in a city near you next year. Because we started with one city, we went to 3 cities, and now we're at 7 cities. So nowhere to move but up. But if you like the spooky season and scary sounds like that, then you can check us out.
Yeah, you're gonna want to hear that. Yeah, you're gonna want to hear that in person, y'all. That shit's fucking.
It's all natural. It's not. It's not pre-recorded.
It's not a soundboard. He's really making that noise with his face hole. It's upsetting.
And it's dark right now. It's dark in this room.
No, the sun has set on Los Angeles, and I'm sleepy. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tell y'all. I guess like, comment, and subscribe. Does that even matter anymore? Who knows? Who cares?
Watch another video. That's
Watch another video. Come interact with us on the socials. Your Twitters and
Patreon.com/OopsAllDragons.
Patreon.com/OopsAllDragons. Give us $1.
We've already got some folks on there. We want more, just because we want to do more stuff.
Yeah, join our Discord. The more the merrier. The more people join our Discord, the better it gets. You know, we're on there ourselves pretty much all the time, just because it's
That's
easy
where
enough.
We just schedule the shows anyway.
Yeah, that's the only place we talk to each other. My good friend Varun, and you know, keep listening, keep rocking.
And one last thing, because
go check your crock pot. Did you leave it on?
One last thing, because I completely forgot to mention it up top. I saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show with Shadowcast. God, that shit's distracting. Just hot take. Just that's the most annoying shit I've ever been to.
You can't talk about my culture like this.
Okay, I think that's the episode right there.
That's the episode. Go home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Goodbye.
Bye.
Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez, our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons, and our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the show notes. Find us on YouTube and Spotify, and check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Oops All Dragons.